Hey, Stephen, how are you?
I'm doing very well. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm looking forward to having a short conversation. Let's go.
Yeah, I was very curious to ask you a few questions, so I'll share my screen to make it easier for
Yeah.
everyone. I know that you're a course host, right? You are the founder of Marketplace Superheroes, is that right?
Yeah, co-founder, myself and Robert Ricky. He's my business partner. We work on it together, yeah.
So this is the guy right there that I could see the eyes of, right? And
You
that's
can
you?
basically, yeah, you see both our eyes. That's how we do it. We always have to hide here, so
Yeah,
just so
how do
no.
I get to see it? All right, well, I see the eyes. You look like good type of people. So,
Thank you.
what's your background, both of you? Are you Amazon sellers?
Yes, Robert basically initially mentored me about, well, 9 years ago now, and I was in a situation where I was working in a corporate job, was looking to get into some kind of a business, and Robert had been selling on Amazon and eBay and all these different platforms for a number of years. And cutting a long story short, I met him through my aunt. I got to know him really well, and basically started to teach me how to sell on these platforms like Amazon and stuff like that. So Robert and I then, a couple of years later, we started our own business together and built it up.
All right. Is that him right here?
Yes, that's Robert Ricky right there.
Let's take a look at him. There he is. All right.
We never use LinkedIn, just so these are going to be who knows how in date this evening.
That's how I find the faces, right? Because I was so curious. I need to cycle the loop right there, the unfinished loop. So you have a course, right? Or is it a mastermind? Like, what is it that you actually do?
So we actually have a few companies that how we help our sellers. So we started out with Marketplace Superheroes about 4 years ago. And the idea was that, Robert taught me initially, and we then started a company on Amazon using FBA, built that up very, very well. And from there, we sort of said, look, what can we do? So we saw a lot of other people teaching how to sell on Amazon and stuff like that. And we didn't always agree with what they were teaching. We felt that a lot of people weren't always breaking down the numbers exactly like Shopkeeper does, which is a great feature of that tool, and that it breaks down exactly your profitability and stuff like that, which is very important. So we just found a lot of people didn't do that, and we thought, let's build our own system where we teach our own processes and let's share it with the world. So that's what we did. But since then, we've obviously got over 4,000 people have been through our program now. But we also built a freight company called Superhero Freight, where we actually save our members a lot of money on their shipping from China by basically putting on our own containers from China. And again, the website is only for members right now. That's actually an app. You're not going to be able to get in there. You can get in there if you like, but there's not a whole lot on there.
All right.
Yeah, it's for members only. So as you can see, it's closed.
So then it's a good idea so it's a members, like how do I get in to use that service? Do I need to?
Yeah, the only way right now is that you're a member of Marketplace Superheroes program, and then you can utilize it from there. That said, though, we are completely overhauling the Superhero Freight website, and it will be available to non-members very, very soon. The reason that we don't make it available to everyone as well is because we have a warehouse in Houston, Texas. We have a warehouse in Northern Ireland for the European markets. But even at that, even with just our members alone, we have a lot of stock in those warehouses right now. So we're always really careful that we have enough space all the time to service the clients. The idea with Superhero Freight is people are shipping from China to US, shipping to Europe. The big problem with most freight forwarders is they charge people a lot of money for small shipments. So our whole complete differentiated strategy is we allow people to pay for a year's access to the network for $500. Then they can prepay their shipping ahead of time. And therefore, they save a fortune on shipments. They know how much their shipments are going to cost. There's no 1,000,001 terminal fees and all that when things arrive. Yeah. And so, this is something that will be very exciting this year.
I'm very excited about this topic. On my blog, I have this long article that I wrote. It's called How I Shipped My Amazon FBA Products by Sea. And it's like 15,000 words article of all the things I go through. And because I was trying to ship from China to Amazon FBA and then use their UPS service and all of these things.
Yeah.
There's so many questions I didn't know, where to ship, what HS code to use, and blah, 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 blah. There were so many things involved, so I am very familiar with the pains of that, and how hard it is to actually navigate through all these freight forwarding things.
Well, yeah. The great thing with the way we built it is we have an online app, and basically how it works is when you find your supplier, you just connect us with your supplier and we take care of absolutely everything from there, which is huge because people don't have to worry about all the stuff. And again, it's an amazing post you've written there. But again, people don't have to worry about all that stuff because we take care of a lot of that stuff for them. And, there's other companies out there that are doing similar things to this, but most are not doing it the way we're doing it, which is the prepaid shipments and stuff like that. But again, it's a great article for anybody who wants to read it.
Yeah, this is actually, once you read it, you may change your mind of doing it yourself. It was so complex and so complicated. It wasn't easy. So, I wanted to ask you, what about the seasonality in the shipping costs? So isn't there, when you do prepaid, will not it be in Christmas is higher shipping costs and things like that?
Yeah, so what we do is we basically get a rate. We take the highest rate, we take the lowest rate, and what we do is we create an average rate. So we know high or low, the average rate is going to be pretty much bang on the year round. So that enables us to allow people to prepay because we essentially lock in the rate rather than changing it all the time, because actually sea freights change every day, the amount they can cost. So we thought, well, instead of doing that, we just create an average amount. So if the shipping costs are very high, we obviously don't make as much profit at that time. If they're lower, we make a little more profit. But essentially, people know where they are at all times. They don't have to worry about that kind of stuff because this is the problem with freight forwarding as an industry anyway. The biggest issue with it is that there's so many costs they don't tell you when you're bringing it into stock. If you're doing a small shipment especially, that's a huge problem. And we just wanted to make it very clear, transparent. You know you are at all times. You know your goods are to the best of the tracking that we can bring it. And that's really it. It's very simple because we thought simplify the whole model. There's no point overcomplicating it.
That's what I was wishing. I eventually found the freight forwarder that I was using, which basically just took care of all of that pain for me. So I guess that's what you guys would do, right? I just would send 2 emails and then we are done. You just send me the track.
Yeah, basically that's right. And we look at ourselves, we're a consolidated network. We're not a freight forwarder as well. And so that's something that we always tell our members, and it's important to be open with people, like with Shopkeeper as well. The thing is great about that is the transparency of the numbers that you have. You're upfront with what the tool does, what it doesn't do, and we're the same. We look at it and we say, well, listen, if your goods are already produced and you just want to get the ship now, we're not your people. Whereas if you're about to place an order and you're placing an order, even if you've already been working with a supplier, you're just placing an order. If you connect us at that point, then number one, we can save you a ton of money in your shipments. Number two, though, we can really get things a lot more organized. The reason we leave a lead time there is because it gives us time to speak to the supplier, coordinate the shipments, coordinate getting them into our warehouses in China, stuff like that. And that's the thing. So we save people because they give us a lot of notice, and we're able to get them onto our containers as a result. But freight forwarding, that's the biggest mistake Amazon sellers make anyway. Is they only get their freight person involved when their goods are done. And that doesn't make any sense. And that's why we always teach our members, tell us early. Very important.
That's right. Cool. So going back to the marketplace superheroes, that's basically a course, right? And which teaches every step about starting to sell on Amazon. Is that right?
Yeah, it's exactly right, Jen. I suppose there's a lot of programs teaching about Amazon, and so what makes what we do different. Well, number one, we work off something we call a rule of 5, which basically means that we focus on teaching our members to sell in multiple countries, not just in Amazon.com. Most courses only teach Amazon.com because they're taught by American sellers, American people, which is understandable. It's a huge market. But we teach people, look, if you have 5 products, you sell them in 5 Amazon markets. Let's just say you make 5 sales per day per product per country. You make $5 net profit per sale. That's a monthly net profit of $18,750. And the whole point is Not that you only sell things that make $5. The point is that with a small number of products in a small number of markets, you can create significant revenue, significant profit in your business. So we focus on simple, everyday products that are not competitive. We do not get involved in trendy products. We have no interest in any of that. We want to sell products that make a small number of sales per day in each market, and it averages out at a significant revenue level. And this website, by the way, is so old. I'm just laughing at it because it's so
Don't
old.
laugh. That's how, that's
like
what's doing
4 years
marketing for you.
Oh, well, yes, that's it. But the great thing is we're actually about to launch our new site. It's almost done. So it'll be,
Great. I'll be excited.
there's so much stuff we've done since there. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So that's very nice. Like that makes you different from all the others, because that's the confusion where it comes in. Everyone comes to Amazon.com and there is so much volume and so much competition there, and you feel like it's such a tight space for you left, right? But in UK or in Europe, over in Europe, if you just figure out the VAT and then all the other details that have to do with translations and internationalizing of the listings and so on, once you have that figured out, I find there's still much more wiggle space in there for newcomers. So,
well, I mean, there's wiggle space everywhere, actually, when you think about it, but you're right. There's no doubt about it that the US market is a lot more competitive. But I mean, the European market, what we do, as you just say, and you're right, to figure out VAT, to figure out translations, that can seem like a lot. Whereas, again, you don't see it on the website here. It's all for members. We actually offer translations. We have a translation team. We actually do their accounting in the UK. We have an accounting team there. We have everything. We've done all this because the problem with most online courses in this space is people teach the course and that's it. They refer you to somebody else and that's it. Our goal has always been to do as much as we can in-house, so you can come and trust us, you can work with us, you can get access to all these different things. And you're right, the European market especially, there's so much fear around things like VAT. It's important, I think, then for ourselves and people like yourself. We're located over here. We understand the how it works. We understand the what's the word I was looking for? Well, basically, we understand how it works, and we understand the terrain is what I want to say, and that's important, because I think if I was learning from somebody from, say, the US or from Canada or from Australia how European taxes work, I'd be a little bit concerned. And equally, I shouldn't be teaching people how US taxes work because I'm not from there, which is why, again, we tend to partner with US people, US accountants, CPAs, with a US legal team, all inside.
All right. Sounds good. You know what I'm going to do? Will I embarrass you right now or not? Let's check. Let's go to Facebook and let's use my search, which I use. And let's see if you have any social proof that I could find. So I'm going to check for posts in my groups only. And let's see. So what social proof do you have? So that's from your group, right? So you have a group, Facebook group then?
Yes, that's a free
a lot of members.
Yeah. That's a free group, though. It's not our paid group. Our paid group has got a little bit over 4,134 members or something like that, I think it is.
So you guys are pretty famous then if you have 13,500 people.
Definitely not. No, this group is, this group is not as active as I'd like it to be completely honest, because it's actually for non-members, but we do have quite a number of people in there. But our members group, which you're not a part of because you're not a member, is where everything happens really, and that's just called Marketplace Superheroes. But you're not a member, so you don't see it.
Okay. Oh, look!
There's Travis Ross. He's a good guy.
There's a few other guys, right? These guys were hit at the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference. You guys were presenting at the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference, or how come you were a hit?
That's what it says. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it says. That is cool.
Looked there twice, actually. Yeah.
And here's Robert, the guy that we looked up, right?
Yeah, it says in 15. It's going back, so we've been around a while.
That is pretty good feedback here. So I got the social proof, that's what I do. Usually I look them up on Facebook feed and I see if anything comes up. Cool. So basically, I guess I don't want to keep you for too long. I am already super curious about your freight forwarding service and the course. So do you have any specials coming up or something interesting that I could start my journey from? Like, what should I do first if I want to sign up?
What are you talk? Which thing are you talking about?
So the course
The
first.
course. Yeah, I mean, the one thing you can register for a webinar. You can go to the homepage of our website and just click the button there, which is like learn more or whatever, and it'll give you the 7-day masterclass series. So that's it right there. 7 days of free training.
And that's free, right? Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and basically the other thing is you can go to marketplacesuperheroes.com/next-generation, and that's just a free webinar. Next-generation, yeah, and people can watch a webinar there for free.
Oh, that's a much nicer landing page. Look at that. That's a very good looking page. I want to read it. Oh. How to build a global Amazon business from scratch. Okay. And
yep.
Oh, this is cool. That's where I will start. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Is that your?
Well, yes.
That's your partner right there. See, now I feel like I know you guys a little bit. Yeah, it's nice to buy from somebody when you know the face of the company. You don't want to buy from these anonymous companies, right? You feel like you have to know a person a little bit, and now I feel like I know you guys a little bit.
Good.
All right. Well, thank you very much for spending your time chatting with me today. And I'll talk to you.
Of course, no problem.
Okay.